What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Broadway Joel, the voice of Dominican boxing, and today we're going to be joined by WBA regular strawweight champion Erick Mini Pac-Man Rosa. He recently was ordered to consolidate his regular belt with the super champion uh, uh, CP Knockout Freshmart. So that will be a consolidation fight to see who's the super champion, which I'm glad that the WBA is cleaning this up. So we definitely have a lot of questions regarding that situation, as well as a couple other fighters that he's been rumored to have been fighting, as well as his transition to Vegas and Bob Santos. And point is, I got a lot of questions for him. I want to see where his head is as far as everything going on with this fight. But before he joins us, I definitely want to give you guys the chance to call in, whether it be before he hops on or after the interview. So, after the interview, if anybody wants to hop on and ask their own question, I'm a man of the people. I always like to open up the phone lines for you guys for in case anybody wants to ask a question that maybe I missed or maybe that you were curious about that I didn't ask. So we'll just wait until he joins us. Up until then, we'll have a boxing conversation. So as far as you know who I haven't had on the channel. I've had him on the channel in the sense that I've interviewed him in person, but I haven't had him on the channel in terms of getting his full life story and all that. Is Alberto Puello. I interviewed him in Vegas when I flew out to Vegas for his training camp. And I've interviewed him right after he won his championship fight in Florida. So I've interviewed him twice already, but just never on the stream. I got to get him on. But tomorrow, actually, I will be interviewing Blair the Flair Cobbs. I know he's not Dominican, but he has a very interesting story. Somebody who I'm very entertained by outside of the ring. I like his personality. He's a bit on the older side in terms of being a prospect, but whatever. I find him entertaining and I'm curious about him. And he has a very, very interesting life story. So I definitely want to interview him. So tomorrow, that will be at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. I will be interviewing him. And on Friday, I just confirmed actually not long ago. I will be interviewing Kenneth Sims. He's the guy who beat Elvis Rodriguez. I will be interviewing him at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern on Friday. So it's going to be a busy day of interviews this coming week. 3 days in a row, 3 different interviews. That's the type of content you guys get when you subscribe here on Broadway Joel's channel. So I'm looking forward to these coming weeks and seeing what's going on. Hopefully, Mini Pac-Man joins us soon, so we get this interview rocking and rolling. You guys, if you guys are OG subscribers, you guys know these guys are never on time. So him not being on as of right now is not a surprise. But matter of fact, let me open up the phone lines now in case anybody wants to call in and ask me a question or have a conversation with me. Hold on 1 second. Boom. All right, guys. So the link is in the chat. If anybody wants to call in while we wait, please do. Just call in. I'm happy to answer any question or just to have a boxing conversation. That's also cool with me too. Anybody here saw Terrence Crawford go live yesterday on his Instagram speaking on the negotiation situation with him and Errol Spence and how he had no guarantee? And pretty much it was all smoke and mirrors. I really don't like. I honestly, people thinking that he's ducking and this and that. I honestly just think he's a bad business guy. I think he doesn't understand the business quite fully, whether it be him or his team. Maybe they're inexperienced in that realm, but I honestly think that he just doesn't understand the business of boxing. I don't think he understands, because if he did. And I understand what allegedly he's making a big bag to fight David Avanesian. He would know that, let's just say he getting $10 million for David Avanesian. He would have made more with the Errol Spence fight. I'm so sorry. It's just it was clear as day to me that he would have made more money. Uh, that fight is a fight a lot of people were anticipating. It's also an undisputed fight. It's also in the glamour division of the welterweight division. Also, is between two undefeated fighters. It's a fight that's been discussed multiple times on First Take, the ESPN show, which generates a lot of numbers. Has been discussed heavily there. Max Kellerman, who's a boxing fan, uh, he discusses it on his show. I believe it's This Just In. He discusses that fight heavily. It just would have been talked around a lot of circles, whether it be celebrities, TV shows, radio shows, sports shows. It's a fight that would have been talked about a lot. And I feel like it would have generated a good amount of pay-per-views. But unfortunately, they can't seem to, well, I want to say he can't seem to grasp the understanding of how the boxing business works. It's unfortunate. I wish there was a happy medium where the fight could get made, but unfortunately, it doesn't look that way. It does not look that way. Right now, we're just waiting for my man Mini Pac-Man to join us. Hold on. Tito Doni says, "Why do you think Crawford never wanted to sign with PBC? He could have had a 3-fight deal, Spence rematch, and Charlo at 54." I don't know. That's a question for Crawford. Honestly, I just think he doesn't trust PBC, considering because he felt like, damn, you guys kept these welterweights away from me. You know, like you guys really like, how do I say, like froze me out. You know, it was like a cold war out here. Like, and you guys froze me out. You guys didn't give me the opportunity. Now you want me to sign with you, which I think is short-sighted. I think it's a bad way of going about his business. Because, all right, that if that's the way you want to go about your business, well, who has all the welterweights? You know, PBC, they got Spence, they got Cody Crowley, they got Rashidi Ellis. Boots Ennis is not technically not signed with PBC, but he's aligned with Showtime, the network, which, you know, for the most part is a PBC network. If you want to say, you know, like, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of it, but most of their fights are with PBC. So if you're going to fight on Showtime, you might as well sign with PBC. And then even if you move up to 54, they got Fundora, they got Charlo, they got Tony Harrison, they got Danny Garcia. They have all the fights at 47 and 54 that you would want. So it would just make for an easier transition. Also, Al Heyman fighters usually come off as happy with the business that they get from Al, as opposed to Bob. A lot of people who leave Bob Arrow end up suing him, end up calling him a racist, end up complaining about him, which is what all things Terrence Crawford did. People who leave Al Heyman, and they're few who leave him, they don't seem to bash him and complain about him so much. You know what I'm saying? So I would have signed with PBC. I see the way they treat their fighters, the purses their fighters get. I would have signed with them, fought Spence, win or lose, move on, and gotten a better opportunity. I don't know. But let me see what's up with my man Mini Pac-Man. Let's see if he could hop on, because last time, man, he had a lot of internet connections, which is why we're redoing the interview. And honestly, it's probably better off that we're redoing it now, because the WBA recently ordered for him to consolidate his regular championship with the super champion CP Knockout Freshmark. So, you know, in terms of news, it's probably better that I'm getting it after that, you know, because when I set the interview, it was before that, so it was kind of in limbo as to when, if that fight was gonna happen. But let's see. I just sent him a message. Hopefully he'll hop on, and you know, we can have this interview. I got a lot of good questions, and I also want to give some of you guys an opportunity to call in at the end of the interview, like I do all my interviews, fortunately for you guys. You know, I definitely, you know, if there's a question y'all think I'm too scared to ask, or I should have asked, or I forgot to ask, or whatever your opinion is of the interview that I conducted, you can always, at the end of my interviews, click that link, give your own opinion, and get, well, not your own opinion, but you can ask your own question in the manner you think it should be asked, and, you know, so on and so forth. And we'll see what the response is. But yeah, man, if anybody wants to call in while we wait, the link is in the chat. So y'all want to click that link, feel free. We can hop on up until my man Mini Pac-Man hops on. Not sure what's going on though. Whatever, it's fine. But what else is going on in the boxing? Honestly, boxing's been slow. It's not a lot of news. Well, I'll say this. Since saludos, Luis de lo mío, que lo que. One thing about Alberto Puello, right? Oh, hold on. I got my man Juan here. Juan de lo mío.
Yo.
What's going on, brother?
You always come through to hear your voice, man. You always know you got a nice jewel for us, man. What's going on?
I feel you, man. I actually do got some news to report. So it's good thing you just hopped on.
Great, man. I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Because I saw recently your interview with Michelle Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that you drove home to him the value of talking a little trash and
yeah.
So like, listen, these guys are not taking the fights here. We are sending them on first because a lot of times fans think that they're killers like Isaac Cruz and all these other guys that are like the Cinderellas, right? Promotional companies that they're not taking fights with the guys that they're supposed to. And in the age we're living in now, it's all about trash talking, unfortunately, to force a fight. I don't know if you remember Lara. Lara was chasing Canelo for like a good 2 years. Talking crap.
Didn't he show up at a press conference once?
He showed up at a press conference. He did everything that he was supposed to do for somebody that didn't even speak the language. Think about that for a second. He didn't even speak English, and he forced the opportunity because it wasn't a sexy fight on paper, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was more Canelo just saying, I'm tired of this guy, man. What the...
No, listen. You know, as the saying goes, closed mouths don't get fed,
and
man.
Told him that.
And I told him exactly that. Yo, bro, if you sitting there like, oh no, Tank's a great fighter. I just want my opportunity. I fought an eliminator. It's not gonna work. You gotta go. Yo, you a duck. Yo, show up to the press conference. Throw a water bottle at him. You know what I'm saying? Do something. Go push the. By the way, throwing the water bottle. I'm not condoning that.
We stretching it.
I'm exaggerating, but no, I got to clarify because then people think, oh my God, he's promoting violence in the street, which I'm not. I'm just joking. But no, you got to make your presence known. You know, wear shirts, make memes. You know, make videos on Instagram. Show up to his gym. Do something. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to press the dude.
Some of these guys are taking your advice and they're on Twitter now.
Yeah, they're a little bit more active on Twitter. Michelle's a little bit more active. Caballo, he just started up his Instagram. He's been, I don't want to say active, but he's thrown out a few tweets. You know, so but I want these guys to get a little bit more more in depth as to social media, because Instagram, whatever, you could put a nice picture and this and that, but you're limited as to your reach. You know what I'm saying?
You know what surprises me a lot, Joel? That these guys, they already have followers. Why is there not like a development person behind them or marketing expert behind them? Because a lot of
that costs money, bro. That costs money. In boxing, you want to promote yourself cheap, you got to do it yourself, bro. You got to do it yourself. And Twitter's the best one. The reason why Twitter's the best one, let's say you put out a tweet calling somebody out or disrespecting somebody, or whatever you want to put out on Twitter. If I retweet it, my followers see your tweet, and then you retweet it, and then your followers see his tweet, and then so on and so forth. So the more people retweet it, the more it's likely to get to the right people that need to see this tweet. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
As opposed to Instagram, if I put up a picture or something, if you don't follow me, you're not gonna see it.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? Or unless somebody DM it to you, but that's a little bit too much. Retweet is just a push of the button. That's it.
And everybody sees it.
And everybody sees it. Everybody who follows me sees it. And then let's say somebody who follows me but doesn't follow Michelle retweets his tweet from my page. Now all of his followers are gonna see it. And then boom, 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 boom. And
I don't know if
you start off a chain like that.
I don't know if you also noticed in the Lomachenko undercard, the guy that fought Isaac Cruz and Michelle Rivera was fighting
Robesi Ramirez.
It brought this guy in like on 7 days. And they made him look like a knockout artist. That's another thing that a lot of people don't you know, people that don't know the details of boxing. Yeah. A lot of they bring you like slaughter to the meat market, man.
Yeah, because he was supposed to fight Jesse Magdaleno. Jesse Magdaleno pulled out, I believe, due to an injury. I could be wrong on that, but I'm not mistaken. It was due to an injury. And then they brought in this Argentinian guy with like 7-10 days notice. Then he knocks him out. It's like, oh, he knocked him out and Michelle cut it. But it's like,
well, nah, you didn't give that guy a full training camp.
You didn't give him a full training camp. Also, that fight was at featherweight. The fight with Michelle was at lightweight. I don't know if he's weight drained. I don't know the details. So it's a lot of variables.
Another thing that our fighters got to start doing, man, and it's unfortunate to say this, but it's going back to the same thing, man. They have to, because they're going against the machine. You don't have a whole country behind you yet. You're not crazy popular. You're talented. You're just as talented as all the other guys. The English got to get up there and they got to get vocal. They got to get aggressive. I'm sorry.
I agree. I agree with both those points, but also I think that the promoters need to do the job and bring them to New York. They're doing a disservice to the fighters when every time they put them in Cali and Minnesota and Texas and in fucking, Atlanta. It's like, yo, bro, there's no Dominicans over there. You got to put the Dominicans.
We have to look at it like this. The fight game is kind of tailor made for it to go the Mexican route.
No. My problem with the way PBC has been placing these fighters, these Dominican fighters, is okay. You guys are throwing events in New York. It's not like they not. That the Wilder fight was in New York. The Tank fight was in New York. The Danny Garcia fight was in New York.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yo, the only one that had a Dominican was the Wilder card.
All the way at the bottom.
It was an 8-rounder. Yo, that shit might. Yo, they were still opening the door when Michelle was fighting.
24-0 guy.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing as far as moving these guys? Y'all not really strategizing. Okay, let's get these Dominicans out there. Let's get these Dominicans more popular. And again, what pisses me off is that they got connections.
On the third undercard, right under Hellenius and Wilder, Plant. And the third, because his record, his resume, and where you trying to push him. If you're trying to push him against Tank, at least give him, if that's what they're trying to do. Who had that third seat on the Wilder?
Frank Sanchez versus Carlos Negron.
Come on, I don't even know those names.
Yeah, but my point. Listen, my point is that. Well, they probably had him buried so deep is because they couldn't find him a good enough opponent to, to like justify such a high slot. But my point is, yo, that's what you got to do. You just throwing them on. You throwing random people on cards. Oh, hold on, I got Mini Pac-Man here, so I'm gonna let you go.
I'm gonna watch live.
All right, cool. De lo mío, ¿cómo está mi hermano?
Todo bien, bro, gracias a Dios. Saliendo del gimnasio ahora mismo.
Okay. No, me asustaste, pensaba que no iba a venir.
No, ahora mismo estoy acabando el entrenamiento, ahora mismo. Todavía estoy aquí en el gimnasio.
Okay. Déjame empezar la entrevista. So I heard that the WBA ordered for you to fight Knockout Freshmart. Have the negotiations started between your team and his? Yo escuché que la AMB ordenó la pelea contra usted y Knockout Freshmart. ¿Ya empezaron las negociaciones?
Sí, sí, ya ellos aceptaron las negociaciones también, ya está todo de acuerdo. Solo esperamos el día de la fecha porque no la tenemos todavía exactamente, pero puede ser pronto la pelea, puede ser este año.
Okay, so he says that yes, that they have been starting negotiating and everything looks straight, that they accepted the terms. It's just a matter of finding a date. Entonces, la pelea ya está de acuerdo y de acuerdo con todos los detalles.
Sí, sí.
Okay.
Ya mi equipo de trabajo y su equipo de trabajo están de acuerdo con todo.
Okay, so he says that his team and Knockout Freshmart team are in accord, in agreement with all the details of the negotiations. Okay, so that's interesting. So where's the fight going to take place? Is it going to take place in Thailand or in the Dominican Republic? Entonces, ¿a dónde es que va a ser la pelea? ¿En la República Dominicana o en Tailandia?
No, puede ser aquí en Estados Unidos o en Dominicana.
Okay, so he says that the fight is either going to be in the United States or in the Dominican Republic. Is there a particular place where it's kind of leaning where it's more going to go towards? Like, is it more likely going to happen in Dominican Republic? Is it more likely to happen in the United States? Hay una situación donde es como más posible que llegue para la República Dominicana, o más posible que sea en Estados Unidos, o no tiene idea.
Más posible en la República Dominicana.
Okay. He says most likely going to happen in the Dominican Republic. Did you get to watch Knockout Freshmart's last fight? Also, what do you think of his performance if you did get to watch it? ¿Tú llegaste a ver la última pelea de Knockout Freshmart? Y si la llegaste a ver, ¿qué opinaste de de cómo lució?
Sí, yo la vi, esa pelea, una pelea buena. Knockout Freshman tiene mucho talento, es un boxeador súper bueno, pero nosotros estamos preparados al 100% y mental y físicamente para ganarle a Knockout Freshman.
Okay, he says he did see his last fight, and Knockout Freshmart is a talented fighter, but he's getting ready as hard as possible, and he's in training to put up a good performance. So I have a question. So is it hard for you to find sparring back when you were training in DR because of your weight? Also, how has been the sparring in Las Vegas now that you're training there? ¿Era difícil encontrar sparring en la República Dominicana cuando tú entrenabas allá? Y también, ¿cuál es la diferencia del sparring en la República Dominicana y Estados Unidos, ahora en Las Vegas, donde está entrenando?
No era difícil encontrar sparring en Dominicana, porque en Dominicana yo hacía sparring con quien sea que esté ahí. Y aquí en La Vega tampoco, porque todo el mundo quiere hacer sparring con un campeón. Todo el mundo quiere hacer sparring, darle golpe a un campeón. Aquí vienen muchísimos sparring a guantear conmigo. Y son buenos los sparring que vienen aquí. Yo me siento preparado y hacemos buenos sparring. Siempre hago buenos sparring con los muchachos que vienen aquí, con los compañeros. Y la diferencia es que en Dominicana uno hacía lo que uno quiera. Como quien dice, aquí no, aquí los sparring son fuertes. Y hay que trabajar fuerte. Los sparring aquí son una pelea.
Okay. So he says that he's never had trouble finding spar, whether it be in Dominican Republic or in Las Vegas. He goes, in Las Vegas, a lot of people go and they want to spar because every person wants to spar and put hands on a world champion. So he goes that it's very difficult. He has a lot of sparring in Las Vegas. He goes, and the biggest difference between Dominican Republic and Las Vegas is that in Dominican Republic, you kind of do whatever you want. He goes, in Las Vegas, it's not like that. Like, there's a lot of sparring, a hard sparring. He goes, in Las Vegas, it's not sparring. It's like you're having a fight. So it's tough out there. Have you sparred anybody that we would know? Anybody who has like a name of significance? ¿Tú has hecho sparring con alguien como que nosotros hubiéramos conocido?
Todavía no, porque aquí hay muchos sparring chiquitos, pero no se han destacado, pero son súper buenos, son boxeadores súper buenos que vienen creciendo con mucha hambre de ser campeón. y son sparring buenos, pero todavía no de nombre. No he hecho sparring con boxeadores de nombre.
All right. So he says, not really. He hasn't sparred nobody who's like has a big name, but you know, he was in Las Vegas. He's sparred a lot of good prospects, a lot of guys who are coming up, and that you know, unfortunately, he still hasn't sparred no names, but he has sparred some good guys, some tough guys out there. So currently you fight at 105. What weight class do you see yourself kind of like ending your career as far as moving forward? Tú ahora peleas en las 105, correcto, ¿verdad? Entonces, ¿a qué peso tú ves tu carrera como terminado? Como, ¿cuál es el máximo peso que tú crees que tú puedes llegar?
En realidad yo lo veo en 115, pero nadie sabe, el cuerpo cambia, mientras el tiempo va pasando, el cuerpo va cambiando. Y puede ser 115, 118, hasta 122, porque hay muchos bolseadores más pequeños que yo, que son 122, que yo lo he visto. Aquí mismo han venido bolseadores 122 que son más pequeños que yo. Y de mi tamaño, lo que pasa es que son fuertes y nosotros estamos trabajamos demasiado en el gimnasio, haciendo mucho ejercicio y todo, y el cuerpo puede cambiarnos rápido, que nadie sabe en qué peso termine peleando.
So he says he can see him ending his career probably like at 115, but he goes, you never know. You know, he goes, the body changes. He goes, he's a young guy. He goes that, you know, he may possibly see himself at 118, maybe even 122. He goes that he's met 122 pounders in Las Vegas that are smaller than him. But he goes that he doesn't know. He goes, hey, you know, like you never know how your body changes, but 115 is pretty much the weight class he sees himself topping out at. I heard that you wanted to fight Oscar Collazo since the amateurs. Like, what's the beef between you guys? Because it seems like you guys are in a collision course. Yo escuché en una entrevista que tú hiciste que tú desde los amateos querías pelear con Oscar Collazo. Y entonces, ¿cuál es el problema que tú tienes con él? Que como que tú lo tienes en la mira para pelear. Tú estás en mute. Ponte el micrófono.
Oh, yeah. Eso era en amateur, ya, ¿cómo te digo? Estamos en el mismo camino, pero uno piensa en grande. Como él está pensando en grande, yo estoy pensando en grande también. Él quiere ser campeón regular, yo quiero ser supercampeón. Después de supercampeón, yo quiero unificar. Yo no quiero dar paso atrás, yo quiero seguirle hacia adelante. Él está haciendo su trabajo súper bien y se lo aplaudo. Que siga haciendo su trabajo, que quizá en un futuro no podemos enfrentar. Pero eso era en amateur. Eso era en amateur. Aquí esto es negocio y pensar en grande. Yo estoy pensando en grande, yo estoy pensando en paso hacia arriba. Yo no estoy pensando atrás. Está el supercampeón ahí primero que yo quiero lo que esté primero que yo. Yo soy egoísta. ¿Sabes lo que es egoísta? Cuando
Sí,
una persona quiere todo lo que está ahí. Yo quiero todo lo que está más para arriba que lo que yo tengo.
Okay.
Eso es lo que yo.
Okay. He says that that was in the amateurs. Like I wanted to fight him in the amateurs. Now we're in the pros. This is a business. He goes, I understand Oscar Collazo. He wants to be a regular champion, but I'm a regular champion and I want to be the super champion. And after I become a super champion, I want to become a unified champion. He goes, I'm a selfish person. And what I mean by selfish is I want everything for myself. I'm not looking to take a step back, look back and fight fighters who have nothing to offer me. I want to fight for belts but Oscar Collazo is a good fighter. He's doing his work. He's working his way up, and I got a lot of respect for him. So it had nothing to do with the Dominican versus Puerto Rico kind of rivalry that we have. That kind of stems from baseball. It has nothing to do with that as far as what happened in the amateurs, where you kind of wanted to fight him. Entonces, cuando tú querías pelear con él en los amateurs, ¿no tenía que ver con algo con la rivalidad que tiene República Dominicana contra Puerto Rico, en el sentido que yo sé que en béisbol hay una rivalidad? ¿Era de eso o era como él era uno de los mejores y tú eras uno de los mejores y te quería pelear con él?
Mira, yo era amateur. Yo era amateur y el que había en su peso, en superior, se llamaba uno de las romanas, un muchacho de las romanas y muy bueno. Siempre a mí me decían los entrenadores, a mí me decían, porque yo hacía mucho sparring con el que estaba en su peso y eran sparring súper buenos. Y siempre me decían, yo te quiero ver a ti peleando con Oscar Collazo, con un puertorriqueño, y yo no sabía quién era ni nada. Y yo lo busqué, Oscar Collazo me lo enseñaba, y yo, ok, ojalá y él vaya a la Copa Independencia. Hay un torneo que lo hacen todos los años allá en Dominicana, se llama Copa Independencia, y fue mi primer año. Y cuando yo fui al torneo el primer año, Puerto Rico no fue. Pero yo quería pelear con él porque los entrenadores me decían que quieren que yo pelee con él. Con los entrenadores, no por mí, porque yo quería demostrarle a los entrenadores que yo tenía, porque era mi primer año en superior. Y cuando yo subo a superior, que voy a mi primer torneo, él no fue. Cuando no fue, nada, tuve que pelear con, con el muchacho que estaba ahí en su peso, que era del equipo A en la selección nacional, era el que viajaba en superior. Yo todavía no era superior, pero subí ese año y le gané a él. Y
Él
después
era de
peleé,
Puerto Rico, el otro era de Puerto Rico.
no, era dominicano, el que
Okay.
viajaba el del equipo A dominicano,
Okay,
que se
sí, sí, sí.
enfrentaba a él en muchos vainas, en muchos eventos. Y yo le gané al del equipo A dominicano y le gané a un peruano del equipo A también. Y cogí medalla de oro en el torneo, pero nunca pude enfrentarme con él porque eh, me fui a profesional de una vez.
Okay. He said that when he was an amateur, there was a tournament called Copa Independencia, and that Oscar Collazo used to always win it. And the Oscar Collazo always used to beat this Dominican from La Romana, the city of La Romana in the Dominican Republic. And this is back when he was still in a novice. And that all the trainers from the national team, and his trainer as well, used to tell him, "Man, I can't wait for you to fight Oscar Collazo." Oscar Collazo. He's like, "Who is this guy? Like, I never heard of this guy, Oscar Collazo." So he went, found some tape on him, found him. He's like, "All right." He goes, "Yeah, like I'm looking forward to fighting him." He goes, then when the tournament, when the Copa Independencia tournament happened, he he went looking forward to fighting him, but Puerto Rico didn't send the team there, so he ended up fighting the one of the guys who was on the Dominican national team who would travel internationally, beat him, and then ended up fighting a Peruvian guy right after them, beating him and winning a gold medal in that tournament. But he's like, that's the reason why their names have been linked, because that's the fight he wanted in the amateurs. Okay. So now you've been training in Las Vegas with Bob Santos. Bob Santos trains a lot of Dominicans. How's that been for you? Ahora entiendo que tú estás entrenando con Bob Santos. Bob Santos es un hombre que tiene muchos dominicanos, está entrenando. ¿Cómo te ha gustado entrenar con él?
Me siento bien, me siento como en casa en realidad. Vos Santos es un entrenador igual que mi entrenador de base, que Ángel Castillo, que mi entrenador, no, mi papá, porque Ángel Castillo siempre desde niño me tiene desde niño. Y son parecidos, dan los mismos entrenamientos, se parecen en todo. Y desde que yo llegué aquí, yo entendí a Vos Santos completamente, al 100%. Vos Santos es un súper entrenador, aparte de eso, siempre está pendiente de esos bolseadores y es muy buena persona en realidad. No se le puede pedir más.
He says he loves training with Bob Santos. Bob Santos, he said he reminds him a lot of his first trainer, and his first trainer is kind of like a father to him. He says that Bob Santos is definitely somebody who cares about his fighters and that they're doing good work down there. So how do you like training with leaving the Dominican Republic, but also being in Vegas and training with other Dominicans in another city? How's that experience for you guys? ¿Cómo se siente para ustedes los dominicanos que salieron de la Dominicana pero siguen entrenando juntos, sea en La Vega, en otro país, en otra ciudad, ¿cómo se siente como entrenar con tu paisano en otro lugar?
Se siente bien y nosotros nos apoyamos entre nosotros aquí mismo en el gimnasio, en La Vega. Somos varios dominicanos y nos metemos la mano nosotros. El sparring tuve que nos ponemos ahí dándonos aliento cada uno cuando tenemos sparring con otra persona. Vamos, vamos, Mini, un ejemplo, por ejemplo, vamos, Santillán, vamos, Héctor Luis, vamos, Caballo, Puello, vamos. Y nos damos aliento y eso se siente bien, que gente de tu país te estén apoyando en un país extranjero, tú coges más fuerza y de todo. Se siente súper bien eso en realidad.
He says, he goes, honestly, it feels real good to train with your countrymen in another country. He goes, a lot of times we'll be sparring and we'll get each other ready. We'll motivate each other. Like, you know, he'll be like, come on, Santillan, go. Come on, Carlos Adames, Puello, Hector Luis Garcia. Come on, like, let's go. They all pump each other up. And he goes, it's kind of like a beautiful thing that they have as far as the brotherhood all being together. So Dominican boxing is clearly on the rise. Anybody who can't see that needs glasses. Who besides you would you say is the best Dominican boxer currently? El boxeo dominicano está subiendo, pero rápido, y el que no ve eso necesita unos lentes. En tu opinión, excluyéndote a ti mismo, ¿cuál es el mejor boxeador dominicano ahora? El volumen. Te quitaste el volumen.
Ellos hay muchos.
No, dame uno, no te hagas, dame uno.
Dame meter el medio.
No, pero eso no es nada, tú tienes opinión como cualquiera, tú no estás diciendo que los otros
Para mí, el mejor boxeador dominicano ahora mismo, que es completo y tiene todo, es una bestia, porque compartí campamento con él por primera vez. Para mí, el mejor boxeador dominicano es Caballo Bro. Para mí. Okay. Es completo con todo. Boxeador que da duro, se cambia de mano, sabe boxear. Completo, exactamente con todo. Después de mí, es el mejor después de mí.
Claro.
Después de mí, el mejor. Yo soy el mejor dominicano.
Claro. So he says that he goes that the most complete boxer in Dominican Republic is definitely Carlos Adames. He goes, Carlos Adames has power, has speed, which is southpaw, which is orthodox, has high boxing IQ. He goes, he absolutely is the most complete Dominican boxer right now, but that's his opinion. But he goes, he just wants to make one thing clear, that that's his opinion, that Carlos Adames is the best after him. He just wanted to make that clear, that you know, he's number one, but since he's excluding himself, he's saying that Carlos Adames is currently the best Dominican right now. All right. I'm going to give a chance to the listeners or anybody who wants to call in and ask their own question. So please hit that link. I'm going to put the link in the chat for anybody who wants to call in and ask a question. Le voy a dar la oportunidad a los fanáticos que llamen y te hagan una pregunta directamente. ¿Eso está bien para usted?
Sí, sí, perfecto. Está bien. Todo bien. La entrevista es tuya, tú haces lo que tú quieras, tranquilo.
No, hay que pedir permiso. No, yo no soy un freco, no. No. So, guys, the link is in the chat. Anybody wants to call in, ask a question for my man Erick, Mini Pac-Man, Rosa, please do. Y'all know I'm always here to bring the fighters to the fans. That's what I do. So, if you guys want to call in, ask a question, please do. All right, we have our first caller. Juan,
dígame a ver, mi hermano, ¿cómo te está?
Todo bien, gracias a Dios, súper bien.
Tú eres de Maquiteria, allá en Villa Duarte, ¿verdad?
Sí.
De allá estoy yo también, por la Cañá y por la Socorro. Es un placer verte, mi hermano. Te tiene una pregunta. Ahora que tú estás aquí en Estados Unidos y tú estás viendo ya lo que es el deporte ya en grande, BBC, Top Rank, ¿Qué tú crees que tú tienes que hacer en tu carrera para desagatarte y sobresalir? Ya que tú tienes un peso mínimo. ¿Tú me entiendes? Obviamente yo estoy hablando con Joel y nosotros le hemos dicho, los dominicanos tienen el talento, lo que pasa es que no tienen la exposición. No, los ojos no están ahí porque no están en la grande cartelera. ¿Tú me entiendes? Si me voy a entender. ¿Qué tú crees que tú tienes que hacer en tu caso para sobresalir? Obviamente ganar, pero lamentablemente el talento no es todo, como tú estás viendo.
Primeramente la disciplina. Si tú tienes disciplina y trabajas fuerte en tu gimnasio, olvídate que tú hasta los mejores que tú le vas a ganar. Si tú trabajas 100% físico y mentalmente todo el tiempo. Y eso es lo que tratamos de hacer, trabajar 100% física y mentalmente y gozarme mi deporte, porque yo elegí esto. Yo lo elegí porque me gusta.
Ya.
Cuando yo subo al ring,
entre entrenamiento y pelea, ¿tú vas a estar quedándote aquí en Estados Unidos? ¿Cómo va a ser eso para ti? ¿La República? ¿Te va a quedar? ¿Vas a venir a pelear para acá? ¿Cómo va a ser tu estado?
no, aquí va a ser mi campo de entrenamiento. Mi campo de entrenamiento va a ser aquí. Nada, yo no estoy en vacaciones, yo todavía no he logrado nada. Eso es pelear y vengo para acá de nuevo a entrenar de nuevo.
Entonces, lo tuyo es irte para Santo Domingo una semana o dos.
Ya.
No sé
Eso es, una semana o dos, atender alguna cosita que tengo allá y volver para acá.
Ya tú sabes, eso es así. Nada, mi hermano, un placer. Otra pregunta también. ¿Se te dio la oportunidad a ti temprano en tu carrera para pelear por un campeonato? ¿Eso viene siendo por tu profesión amateur? ¿Tu récord amateur? Porque se te dio
Sí,
rápido.
mi equipo de trabajo, mi promotora Bélgica Peña, hizo que todo eso sea posible. La jefa, la patrona.
Y triunfaste, que es lo más importante. Y cuando
Gracias.
tiene eso cuando tú te veas ya peleando aquí en la televisión, que esperemos que sea pronto, ¿quién tú crees? ¿Se te ha acercado PBC, Top Ron, una de las compañías norteamericanas aquí, para ver si te podemos ver en la pantalla grande? Dios mío.
Sí, todo lo que nosotros vamos a hacer, lo vamos a hacer con la PBC. Posiblemente. No un 30%, un 40%. Mi próxima pelea es con la PBC aquí en Estados Unidos, pero un 60% será en Dominicana y todavía no estamos de acuerdo.
Está bien. Amén, está bien, mi hermano. Joel, perdón que no pude dejarte.
No, está todo, mi hermano.
I was going in. Cuídense, mi gente. Un placer.
Okay.
Y Joel, gracias otra vez por la voz de los buceos dominicanos.
Tú sabes que yo estoy activo
con nosotros ahora mismo con nuestra gente.
Yo estoy activo con los dominicanos, tú sabes. Déjame traducir un chin lo que dijo porque es mucho. So he asked him like, how do you get your name out there considering you at a lower weight? And the response was basically the first thing he has to focus on is being disciplined, being active in the gym, and doing what he has to do in the gym, and everything else will take care of itself. Then there was a follow-up question, and then he had mentioned that first he's gonna fight. He's gonna fight. He's gonna fight this fight and then come back like a week or two later after arresting DR to come back to training camp. He's like he's not out in Vegas for a vacation. That he's out there to train and to work better. There was a few more things, but it was a lot. It was hard to translate. It was pretty long back and forth. I have my man Too Slick. My man, what's going on?
What's up, everybody?
Question for my man Erick Mini Pac-Man Rosa.
So I actually missed the first half just because I got out of a call. Did you ask him about Daniel Valladares yet? About what happened
I
with the
did
Daniel
not.
Valladares
I did
fight?
not.
Oh, okay. Ask him what happened with the Daniel Valladares fight because I saw him calling you out, and I saw him calling out Rosa, and Rosa calling him back out, and I'm kind of curious to see what happened.
Okay. Él dice, ¿qué fue con lo tuyo y de Carlos Valladares? Que él leyó que...
Daniel Valladares.
Daniel Valladares, que él escuchó que él habló de ti, que quería pelear con usted y que tú le respondiste que tú estás dispuesto y después como que no se dio la pelea. ¿Qué fue que pasó ahí?
Eso se trataba de una unificación con Valladares, pero no me aceptar la unificación el organismo de la OMB, donde Valladares es campeón OMB o la FI, yo creo que
La FI.
porque yo soy campeón regular y no lo aceptaron, y él es supercampeón. Por eso nosotros tratamos de buscar al supercampeón de la AMB para unificar con él, pero yo creo que él aceptó una pelea con un japonés ahí y creo que ya no se va a dar la unificación.
He says that
Si gana, se puede dar, pero veremos la pelea, cómo le va.
He said that they were both trying to make the fight because they were trying to make it like a unification match, but the IBF was not going to recognize his title as a unification. So he says since that was the problem, now he's going about the route of becoming a super champion. And that's why he's fighting Knockout Freshmart. He goes that he's still willing to fight Valadares in the future. But from what he understands is Valadares has a fight coming up against a Japanese fighter. He goes, if he was to win that fight and still be willing to fight me, then by all means, we'll make a unification match after I beat Knockout Freshmart.
Hell yeah. You ask him about you already asked him about Knockout?
I asked him quite a bit, but what question do you have?
Gotcha. No, I was probably gonna ask whatever you had already asked. Anything else? Oh yeah, is he gonna shut up Wilfredo Mendez? Because I saw Wilfredo Mendez calling him out too.
Ok, que si tú le vas a callar la boca a Wilfredo Méndez, que Wilfredo Méndez está hablando mucho de ti.
Ellos saben que le den de tiranzuelo el pecado, que no lo van a atrapar. El pecado anda en otro lago.
He says Mendez knows what'll happen. Mendez is just throwing he's just throwing a rod in the water to catch a fish. And he goes, but he don't understand that the fish is somewhere else to catch.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right. Well, thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
Te está mandando la gracia. Okay.
Gracias a ti, hermano.
He says thank you, and God bless you.
Cheers for you, man.
All right.
I gotta get out of this.
All right, see ya. Él dice que va a estar, que él quiere que tú ganes en tu próxima pelea. All right. Parece que ya nadie más quiere llamar, so it looks like nobody else wants to call in. I gave you guys the chance to call in. The link is still in the chat, so if you guys want to call in. Quiero darte la gracia por darme tu tiempo. Sé que la hicimos una vez, pero después como que la conexión estaba mala. Pero eso no pasa nada, lo estamos haciendo ahora. Y tú sabes que cuando anuncien tu pelea, si tú quieres promocionar tu pelea conmigo, tú sabes que este canal es tu casa. Este canal es de los dominicanos, de los peleadores dominicanos. Esto es, ¿tú me entiendes? Cuando tú quieres estar en el show, no es preguntarme, es decirme, yo voy a estar en el show mañana, ya. Y tú estás frío conmigo y el apoyo está aquí para siempre.
Ya tú sabes, mi hermano, igualmente, cuando tú necesitas una entrevista, lo que sea, tú nada más tienes que decirme qué es lo que hoy y ya. Buscamos la hora que no sea del gym y le damos.
Tato. Pues muchas gracias a Erick. Hasta la próxima.
Igualmente.
Okay. All right, guys, that was Erick Mini Pac-Man Rosa. That was a good interview. I love his personality, man. Like he is very personable. He's very fun to talk to. And one thing I found interesting, one thing I took out of that, well, I took a lot out of that, but one thing is I asked Bob Santos who's the best Dominican. He said Carlos Adames. I asked Michelle Rivera who's the best Dominican. He said Carlos Adames. And then I asked Erick Mini Pac-Man Rosa who's the best Dominican, and he says Carlos Adames. That's very interesting to me, because to me, the best Dominican right now, you have to say is Hector Luis Garcia based off resume. But the trainer of both Carlos and Hector says that Carlos is better. And a stablemate of both those guys says that Carlos is better. So I find that very interesting. Lets me know that Carlos Adames' talent level is high, high for us. Oh, Juan, he says, you said you had news for us. Juan's on it, bro. Juan's on it. So the news is I heard that as I previously reported that Gary Antoine Russell was going to fight Alberto Puello, but what I'm hearing, that's no longer the case. It's no longer the case. That's what I'm hearing. You know who I'm hearing? I'm hearing that Rolly Romero, of all people, is in the running for the Puello's title. He just recently wound up in 140-pound rankings, in the WBA rankings. Alberto Puello is a WBA champion, and I've heard from a few legitimate sources that the next fight for Alberto Puello will be against Rolly Romero. So that's the news I've heard. I cannot confirm it. I've been calling and texting and hitting everybody up to confirm the rumor that I've heard. But the rumor I've heard is from a legit source. I just want to confirm it with other legit sources. And I haven't been able to. But that's a name that's floating around. Yeah, I know I'm the voice of Dominican boxing. So I have to, if I hear something, I have to report it to y'all like that. That's my duty. My duty is keeping y'all happy and keeping y'all up to date with the news, Dominican news. And that's what I've heard. I have not confirmed it. Once I confirm it, I will be tweeting about it. I will be talking about it on my channel. But as far as the name that I've heard is that. So not sure what's going on, why. But that's again, that's the latest of what I've heard. I heard it's not going to be Gary Antoine Russell as I originally heard. But yeah. I was wondering why I saw Rolly in the WBA rankings at 140. Yeah, well, now you know. Now you know. They giving this guy Rolly everything on a platter. That guy hasn't fought at 140. 14-1 fighter. Wow. Yeah, it's like, yo, we got to go through hell and back to get a title shot. Like, yo, look what Hector Luis Garcia had to do to get a title shot. He had to take a fight on 20 days notice to fucking fight Chris Colbert, a top 5 130-pounder, beat him. That's what he had to do to get a title shot. You get what I'm saying? Yo, and this dude, he loses and his next fight's a title shot. Meanwhile, Michelle Rivera at 135 is like struggling to earn his way. 4 eliminators. You know what I'm saying? Earned his way and it can't get a mandatory position. I don't understand what's going on. But the one thing I will say that I like about the Alberto Puello Rolly fight is that Rolly does have somewhat of a name. So beating a guy like that, and I think Puello beats him. I don't think I just think Puello beats him. I think Puello could come off that. Like, yo, I'm the guy who beat Rolly. Yeah, you know, Tank knocked him out. Yeah, I beat him too. Now, does Puello knock out Rolly? I doubt it, but I definitely think he beats him. I think he outboxes him. And again, I really like Alberto Puello's uppercut. And who knows? And you know, it's boxing. It's his first fight in 140, and you fighting the champion. I don't know, man. Alberto Puello is a good fighter, man. A lot of people are underrating him. Although yes, that fight with Akhmadov is close. I rewatched it. I scored it for him. I thought he won. But I understand people feeling like Akhmadov won. But I thought he won. I thought he won clearly. I thought he won. That shit hurt me, bro, because we know the sacrifice our fighters take. I know he can beat him, but this judges like they did Marinez. Yeah, man, that does worry me, man. That does worry me because it's not like I think like, oh, Puello definitely knocks this dude out. I honestly don't believe that. I think he wins a decision, but Marinez should have won a decision. He did everything you would want a boxer to do against Rolly and did not get the decision. So there's that. I'm with you, Juan. I'm with you, bro. I don't like it, but I don't like it in the sense. I mean the fight. Not obviously. I don't like bad scorecards. I mean I don't like the fight in the sense that Rolly's just getting it without earning it. He has beaten nobody. Absolutely. You look at. He's 14-1. You look at all 14 of them wins, and none of them justify him getting a title shot. Not a single win. But he's ranked, I believe, in the top 10 at 140. Not even like, yo, he's ranked number 15. Yo, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's ranked 10. But whatever. We'll see. That's just the way the ball goes. at this point, DR, we got a lot of good fighters. We just have to do what we can. Do what we can with what we got and just keep winning. Just win, baby. Just win. All right, guys. That's my live for today. I'm not gonna go live tonight. I actually have some family thing I have to do. So I won't be going live tonight at 7 p.m. But again, I provided you guys with, you know, a nice good bit of content with my man Erick, Mini Pac-Man, Rosa, and as well as, you know, some conversation before and after the interview. So I hope you guys understand I won't be going live tonight, but tomorrow I will be coming to you guys live 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern with another interview of Blair the Flair Cobbs. Again, he's not Dominican, but he has a very, very interesting story. And yeah, you guys are really gonna enjoy this fight interview. You know, he's a great personality. He fights in a welterweight division. Yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow and giving you guys that interview. All right, guys. Till next time. See you tomorrow. Peace.